Hello, and welcome to John chapter 16. In this passage, Jesus keeps saying he needs to go. He needs to go. And it's interesting from our perspective because I have the whole book of John. I could jump to the end. I know what's going to happen. But it's interesting to watch their reaction. What do you mean you're going to go? You're going to come again? Our joy, our sorrow is going to turn to joy, and the world's joy is going to turn to sorrow. They are so confused at this moment, and you can't really blame them. So, it's amazing that Jesus knew all this before it happened. So he's in control. That seems to be the theme of John. Jesus is always in control. So we're not in control. We have no idea what's going on. It's a real good passage about how we live the Christian life. Jesus knows, though. He is always in control. Let's keep learning together. So let's look at John chapter 16. I have said these things to you so that you wouldn't be caused to stumble. They will put you out of the synagogues. Yes, the time is coming that whoever kills you will think that he offers service to God. They will do these things because they have not known the Father, nor me. But I have told you these things so that when the time comes, you may remember that I told you about them. I didn't tell you these things from the beginning because I was with you. But now I am going to him who sent me. And none of you ask me, where are you going? But because I have told you these things, sorrow has filled your heart. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away. For if I don't go away, the counselor won't come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. When he has come, he will convict the world about sin, about righteousness, and about judgment. About sin, because they don't believe in me. About righteousness, because I am going to my Father, and you won't see me anymore. About judgment, because the prince of this world has been judged. I still have many things to tell you, but you can't bear them now. However, when he, the Spirit of truth, has come, he will guide you into all truth. For he will not speak from himself, but whatever he hears, he will speak. He will declare to you things that are coming. He will glorify me, for he will take from what is mine and will declare it to you. All things that the Father has are mine. Therefore I said that he takes of mine and will declare it to you. A little while, and you will not see me. Again a little while, and you will see me. Some of his disciples therefore said to one another, what is this that he says to us? A little while, and you won't see me. And again, a little while, and you will see me. And because I go to the Father? They said therefore, what is this that he says? A little while? We don't know what he is saying. Therefore Jesus perceived that they wanted to ask him, and he said to them, do you inquire among yourselves concerning this, that I said, a little while, and you won't see me, and again a little while, and you will see me? Most certainly I tell you that you will weep and lament, but the world will rejoice. You will be sorrowful, but your sorrow will be turned into joy. A woman, when she gives birth, has sorrow because her time has come. But when she has delivered the child, she doesn't remember the anguish anymore, for the joy that a human being is born into the world. Therefore you now have sorrow, but I will see you again, and your heart will rejoice, and no one will take your joy away from you. In that day you will ask me no questions. Most certainly I tell you, whatever you may ask of the Father in my name, he will give it to you. Until now, you have asked nothing in my name. Ask and you will receive, that your joy be made full. I have spoken these things to you in figures of speech, but this time is coming. Well, I will no more speak to you in figures of speech, but I will tell you plainly about the Father. And that day you will ask in my name, and I don't say to you that I will pray to the Father for you. For the Father himself loves you, because you have loved me and have believed that I came from God. I came from the Father and have come into the world. Again, I leave the world and go to the Father. His disciples said to him, Behold, now you are speaking plainly and using no figures of speech. Now we know that you know all things and don't need for anyone to question you. By this we believe that you came from God. Jesus answered them, Do you now believe? Behold, the time is coming. Yes, and has now come, that you will be scattered, everyone to his own place, and you will leave me alone. Yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. I have told you these things, that in me you may have peace. In the world you have trouble, but cheer up. I have overcome the world. May God add blessing on the reading of his word. So, what did we learn from John chapter 16? So he's saying some pretty devastating news, like in verse 2. They will put you out of the synagogues. Yes, the time is coming that whoever kills you will think that he offers service to God. I don't know if that's what they really wanted to hear. Follow me. They're going to kick you in modern times out of the church. And they'll think they're doing a service to God. Very hard to deal with this, And it says, well, they haven't known the Father or me. So a real condemnation on the entire state of, the Jewish people at the time. They, one part is saying they worship me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. So he's telling these things beforehand, so they're not upset later. And says, because I have told you these things, in verse 6, sorrow has filled your heart. And who wouldn't it be? You start like, I'm following Jesus, and all these terrible things are going to happen. But Jesus said in verse 7 that I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away. For if I don't go away, the counselor won't come to you. So Jesus lives and the counselor comes. He said this over the last few chapters. They're not quite getting it. And again, I don't really blame them. It's the counselor. What? The Holy Spirit? What are you talking about? And he says the counselor is going to convict the world about sin, righteousness, and judgment. Sin because they don't believe in me. Righteousness because I am going to my Father and you won't see me anymore. And about judgment because the prince of this world has been judged. So interesting, the prince of this world has already been judged. And again, I always go back to that. What is wrong with Satan? He knows he's lost. Why doesn't he just give up? Why does he cause so much trouble? I don't get it. I just don't. It's one of those things. Like, you've lost. Why keep fighting? Why make it worse for yourself? Interesting. So, it says that Jesus has more to say, but they can't really deal with it right now. But the counselor, the Spirit of truth, the Holy Spirit, he will guide you into all truth. Huh. Interesting. So, again, he keeps saying he will declare everything to you, and, you won't see Jesus anymore. And they were so confused this way. The disciples therefore said to one another, "What is this that he says to us? A little while and you won't see me. And again a little while and you will see me." They're just so confused by all this. And you can't really blame them. We don't know what he's saying, And so Jesus tries to explain, but he says something very interesting in verse 21. A woman, when she gives birth, has sorrow because her time has come. But when she has delivered the child, she doesn't remember the anguish anymore, for the joy that a human being is born into the world. Then it says, therefore you now have sorrow, but I will see you again, and your heart will rejoice, and no one will take your joy away from you. So I think he means the second coming, or heaven, or whenever they see him again. Probably the second coming, and then their joy, cannot be taken away, And so he's saying in that day, you can ask anything, and you don't have to, what does it say? Whatever you may ask of the Father in my name, he will give it to you. So interesting. Now he's saying he's been speaking a lot in figures of speech, which they didn't quite get. And it says, for the Father himself loves you because you have loved me and have believed that I came from God. So he's speaking in figures of speech, and so, and finally he says, I come from the Father and have come into the world. Again, I leave the world and go to the Father. And the disciple says, finally, you're speaking plainly and using no figures of speech. Like a lot of times he spoke in parables. So you might ask, why would he speak in parables? Well, he's hiding some meanings from some people and giving the meanings to others. Again, he is always in charge. And so Jesus says, finally, do you now believe? In verse 31. Do you finally believe in me? And it says you're going to be scattered, you're going to leave me alone, but the Father is always with Jesus. And finally in verse 33, I've told you these things that in me you may have peace. In the world you have trouble, but cheer up. I have overcome the world. So they're going to go through some bad times and some bad things. But in the end, Jesus will win. He has overcome the world. And I like how he said it. First of all, clearly, I have overcome the world. And it's already done. I have overcome. It's in the past tense. It is done. So we're going to have trouble in this life, but in the end, God has overcome the world. We should take comfort in that. I think of atheists and agnostics and people who have trouble in this world, but yet have no joy in the next world or no peace at all. So we're all going to have trouble in this world, but Jesus overcame the world, so can we. So interesting. So I hope we keep learning. I hope we keep moving forward in our belief with God. Have a great day.